All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to be talking about the Los Angeles Rams. They're coming off a season where they went 5-12, but it literally feels like last season, every single player on the Rams was injured at some point in the season, some longer than others, but specifically, the Rams dealt with losses to Aaron Donald, Cooper Kupp, Matt Stafford, i.e., the Rams' three best players on their roster. So typically, when your team is missing your best player, when they're missing their second best player, when they're missing their third best player, your team's going to struggle. All right. Offense, defense, it just was a season to forget about for the Los Angeles Rams. But I think that's about to change. I have no world where the Rams are nearly as bad as they were last season. Now, I know they lost some pieces, but a healthy offensive line and just a healthy team in general, it's going to go a long way. Honestly, the only really only clothes in a dorm room were on the floor more than Rams quarterbacks last season. That's not going to be the case this upcoming year. This is a young, hungry squad with plenty of veteran superstar talent, and we're going to talk about all of it in today's video. But before we do, if you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. This is only my second ever Rams video, so I appreciate all the new faces coming onto the channel. If we get this video to 100 likes, that would mean the world to me. So the offseason was kind of highlighted by just clearing some cap and almost like a retooling for the Rams. They won the Super Bowl a couple of seasons ago. They follow it up with a 5-12 season. ESPN only has them as the 21st best core in the NFL. However, I think they're depth-wise much, much better. And once again, I really want to pinpoint and hammer home the word hungry, because this is just an extremely hungry team, specifically on the defensive side. I really like a lot of their guys who are young, ready to take that next step. Guys like Jordan Fuller. Jordan Fuller last season only played 3 games. However, 2 years ago, in just his second NFL season, he had over 113 tackles. All right, Kobe Durant. I think Kobe Durant is the breakout defensive player for the Rams this upcoming season. Last year, he was top 10 in total interceptions across the league with 3 in total. In fact, against Denver, he had a couple of pass deflections, 2 interceptions, one of those for a touchdown. PFF had his score last year at 73.3, and he allowed a passer rating of just 52.7. Kobe Durant had a phenomenal rookie season. When we take a look at the defense in general, I'm not worried about the defensive line with Aaron Donald there, I'll tell you that. I see enticing pieces like Ernest Jones, but defensively, I think people's fear or concern, their weakness, the Rams' defensive weakness, you could say, is their secondary. And it's guys like Jordan Fuller and Kobe Durant that honestly, I'm just not feeling that drift. I'm not catching that drift. I'm not catching that vibe. I think their defense is actually really talented. A bunch of young talent, like Ernest Jones, for example, last season. Keep in mind, it's the linebacker unit. All right, who did the Rams have at the linebacker position last year? Specifically, you had Mr. Bobby Wagner. So we only saw Ernest Jones last year play 66% of snaps. Now you could say, all right, well, if you're the Rams, if you're the DC, if you're the coaching staff, if you're on the personnel, whatever it is if Ernest Jones is a potential superstar or a potential star on this defense, why is he only playing 66% of snaps? All of that talk is going to dissipate this upcoming season. Last year, Ernest Jones had 114 tackles. Keep in mind, he was only on the field for 66% of total snaps. So it's guys like Ernest Jones, Kobe Durant, and Jordan Fuller that I'm not worried about this defense. I think they have a great depth with young talent, and obviously the best defensive player in the National Football League, Aaron Donald, who, by the way, said he is fully healthy and feeling good. And keep in mind, in the Rams, although they didn't have a first-round draft pick, they selected 14 players. We could go top to bottom. Even a lot of those guys I just mentioned were not first-round picks. They weren't second-round picks. The Rams got 14 total drafted players. All right. Some of those are going to work out. Worst case scenario, a couple of those are going to work out, and we're going to see that this upcoming season. So even if the Rams go 8-9, 7-10, they are below expectations, they're at least going to have a better idea of who they have, who they're kind of their next core of players on both sides of the ball is going to be. So let's finish this video off by talking about the offense. Matt Stafford had his worst passing season. He had his worst season in general, in my opinion, since his rookie year, which was so long ago. Matt Stafford in his rookie season threw 20 interceptions. Now, we only saw Matt Stafford play technically 9 football games. He only threw for 232 yards per game, but once again, we go back to the dorm room. These guys were on the floor all the freaking time, all the time. So only 10 touchdowns, just 8 interceptions. We're going to see a bounce back Matt Stafford. He played in OTAs. He might be going to camp. Actually, I know Sean McVay is excusing a lot of these veterans from mandatory minicamp that's about to get started up. But like Matt Stafford isn't going to have that bad of a season again. All right. The offensive line isn't going to be that dissipated as it was last season. I mean, fingers crossed, but like last year truly was kind of crazy with all these injured Rams players. But I even look at the running back room and I'm extremely excited. They have young talent, guys like Kyron Williams, but Cam Akers, a healthy season of Cam Akers has Rams fans ecstatic for a good reason. Last year, almost 800 total rushing yards, 4.2 yards per carry with that offensive line, I add, but he also, just like a lot of these Rams players, was injured at times. All right, Cooper Kupp only played 9 games. He caught 75 balls. Cooper Kupp last season only played half the year. He caught 75 catches for 812 yards. That is 90.2 yards per game. So, yeah, you still have an MVP caliber talent at quarterback and wide receiver, Van Jefferson. Hopefully we get a healthy season of Van Jefferson. Last time we saw that 2 years ago, he had almost 1,000 yards and was emerging as, this is why he was taken in the second round. He's an emerging star wide receiver. Tutu Atwell, last season, 16.6 yards per catch. 16.6 yards per catch. Another breakout candidate, in my opinion, entering his 3rd season with this Los Angeles Rams team. So I saw a comment on my first Rams video that I made a couple of weeks ago, and I really loved it. And it was just kind of in the sense of this team reminds me of the Seahawks, where the expectations are extremely low. However, there is veteran talent, but there is a lot of young talent, guys who have just been waiting for a shot, waiting for an opportunity. They have a chip on their shoulder. The expectations are super low. Guys can play free. They can play loose. They can let the game come to them. And I think it's a recipe for success. So in my last Rams video, I talked about my season prediction at 9-8. The Seattle Seahawks last year were supposed to win, 4 or 5 football games. They were supposed to be one of, if not the worst team in the entire National Football League. They end up going 9-8. Making the playoffs. They're actually beating San Francisco with a healthy quarterback at halftime. So, I know like making a Seahawks comparison to Rams fans probably isn't the best idea. It doesn't sound the greatest, but hopefully you get my point here. If the Rams go 9-8 next season, that would be awesome. I think they will go at least 9-8. I wouldn't be surprised because of their talent if they win 10 football games, if they win 11 football games, if they even won 12 football games and made a little bit of a run in the playoffs. So I'm curious to hear what Rams fans and NFL fans are thinking about this team for the upcoming season. Let me know down below. As always, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. And if you want more Rams videos, let me know down below. But let me know what you're thinking about this Rams team down below.